Yo, man, we have so many different roles we have to play, and we have to, especially being like leaders, providers, being like the man, like, and it's crazy because it's like, yo, I would love for people to define like the role of a man.
It's like there's a lot of like societal pressure on what a man is supposed to be from a lot of people.
I wonder if they see the sparkle in your eyes. I wonder if they know that I'm not your guy. I wonder if they see that you don't love me. Wish that you could be.
Camera puts on fucking 10 pounds, so.
That's good.
Fucking cameras.
That's good.
No, it sucks.
Sucks for people who wear blue, but
why does blue make you look bigger?
No.
Oh.
If you want to look thinner, you gotta wear black.
I usually always do. I
dark.
usually do. Yeah, you be knowing. You gotta tell me the tricks.
That's it. Like people like when it's funny because people said, "Oh yeah, your calves are small." I was like, it looks small because I'm darker, but if you put it close, it actually looks bigger. So it's like in comparison. Some people, they don't understand like that's how light works. Like black makes things look like it's smaller. So it's like, it's just interesting. Like they had like a little challenge where it's like like a black box and a white box, and it was like which box is bigger, and they were like opposite inverted on their respective. Like a black cube was on like a white background, and then it was the same size, but people perceived it differently because your eyes is making the white bigger than the black. That
and probably all the angles and shit, right?
No, it's the same. It was literally boop boop, same thing. And they're like, which box within the box is bigger? And they're like, oh, it's the white one. I was like, okay, they're the same size. So they do that to fuck with you, but that's like an optical illusion.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
We're starting with that. Fuck it. Let's educate some people over here. All right? Joe, stop with the cursing, man. Damn.
There you said wait a minute until you start letting the clip out. Right?
It's just natural.
You just don't care.
No, it's just bad habit. But whatever. We'll start from here then, I guess. What's up, everyone? Joe Fugurino's in the house, in the studio today. Toothless. What you guys saying?
How's it going, everybody? Zain in the building. Toothless.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I just got
How
back.
many they took?
It took two. One couple like about a month ago, and one a couple hours ago.
So like 2 altogether, or 4?
2 in total.
2 in total.
Yeah, 2 in total.
And you're gonna get the other 2, or is it only 2?
No.
That's it.
For now.
For now.
Oh,
okay, but they don't have to take the other 2.
Maybe another one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Because that's painful. I've been through it.
Bro, I kept telling them, put more. Yo. I was going through that shit. I was telling JoJo and Ryan before. I was like, yo, like, you guys ever like do things in life, and in the middle of you doing it, you just question like, yo, why is this still a thing?
Oh, like them pulling teeth?
Nah, just like, bro, you did not, like, the world does not come up with a way to make that an easier process.
Like a machine that just pulls out your teeth or something
just
like that?
Bro, like.
Or just a better way of just.
It's very old school.
It's just, what you're saying is very prehistoric at this point in age where there should be a swifter way of
100%.
Removing teeth opposed to how they currently do it today.
Yeah. Or not even just the removal, just the whole tooth work anyway. Because what I was really getting was like a gum cleaning.
Right.
And it was a deep cleaning. But I'm just like, bro, like, it shouldn't be this intense.
So it was all in the same day? So you got a teeth clean and...
Yes.
Oh, wow. They did a full
full
service.
Yeah, that's why I'm like...
You happy with it?
I know. Well, so I did the one side like a month ago, and it was great.
Right.
I could tell the difference already. like I was able to notice the difference real quick. But they're like, yo, it's because it's your gums. You got to be real sensitive. Like tonight, I gotta just have like a smoothie or something. So hopefully, you know, the process too. I was like, hey, maybe I'll lose some weight. You know what I'm saying? Just take out a bunch more tooth. Let's do this every week. Maybe I'll finally be fucking
Imagine
skinny.
that whole thing just changes everything. He's like, damn, I just got thinner because
Well, they do say in doing this whole process, and the reason why I did get it too, is they were saying bad, because I had like bad gums and like a gum disease,
Right.
and they were like that could definitely affect your A1C and your diabetes
Hmm.
big time, which I didn't know. And if you look into it and you Google it, they're like,
So
clear
that's
as day.
linked together.
Yeah, bad gum health could like 100% raise your blood sugar.
Oh, wow.
So it could have been a big factor this whole time. I mean, obviously, I know, you know, I definitely don't eat the best,
Right.
but you know what I'm saying? Like you just would never know, and they were pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, because you know it's like, you know, unless you really have like, this is not a knock. You know, sometimes my pops listen to this, but like, unless you got some really parents that are on top of your shit sometimes,
Right.
like, and when you're a kid, like you don't. How often are you going to the dentist? You know, unless
I feel like that's new information that no one really knew about until now, which is great because people kind of just let their teeth rock. But then now there's like a motive behind it, like in terms of like especially like if you have diabetes or type 1, whatever type that you have, and now you're like, wait, there's an extra step that I can do to also bring this down.
yeah, no,
Because
it-
people don't link those two together. There's like, dentist is whatever, blah blah. But like that, and also it could affect like if you have like bad teeth or whatever that is, like gingivitis, what you can actually pass that over to whoever you're kissing. No one tells you that.
yeah, a lot of people don't.
Yeah, so it's like you have to get your hygiene, but mostly your dentistry like on point if you're going to engage in a relationship with somebody. Like you just can't let that shit just be whatever.
Yeah, no, it's super, super important, man, especially as you get older. Like me, I know straight up, yo, my breath has never been the best in a while because of this. It's one thing I'm always cognizant of. You know, ain't nothing you could do, so, you know, you just walk around, you fucking live with it until you do a big-ass procedure like this. But it's awkward, too, because always knowing that, you want to be cautious in meetings and talking with people and stuff. And it does affect your health in so many different ways. Like, you know, people that know me personally know I have the dark spot on my skin too. And that's one thing I've always questioned too. Like, I wonder if, because I had decaying tooth over here. This is one of the ones they took out. So I'm like, I wonder if that had anything to do with it, you know, because it's all like, you know, bacteria and all that type of stuff. Like,
It could possibly be a factor, but maybe
Yeah.
maybe after like 3 months from now, maybe you'll see a change.
yeah, you just,
Well,
you know, you never know. But the diabetes was one thing that, you know, when I heard it somewhere, I forget where I heard it first, I did the research and they were like, yeah, it definitely can throw off, you know, stuff. So, and the guy was like, you know, my shit was pretty bad. So and he was like, you know, you're supposed to, you know, you're supposed to go to a cleaning every 3 months.
Let me tell you something. Not that it's new information, but I feel like that's that oil change. Like people need like a blinker on their chest, like it just lights up. Like go get your shit checked.
Yo, I wish.
Go
Yo,
get your
I
shit
wish,
checked because
man.
we have a whole bunch of check engine lights that are on. Some of us out here, and we are not fucking paying attention whatsoever. And y'all need like everybody's all hooked to their fucking phones and shit. Y'all need like those notifications. Like as soon as you go to a doctor and he does the check, then it's gonna let you know, hey, by the way, never mind. Fucking
You're
dropping
getting
on.
too
It's just too
many-
much. Too much.
Nah, but yo, on some real shit though, like that goes back to my original point of like, bro, technology is too crazy
For it not to
for
be
us
wet.
not to have that. Like, I was definitely one not for you know what in 2020,
Right.
but yo, they come out with some new shit that says, yo, you take this and we'll tell you A to Z what's wrong with you on a daily basis. I'm taking it. Sign me up. Sign me up.
There should be something like that where you take like a pill that literally gives you a diagnostic, and they like when they take your blood, it does a read, like it's nanites. I'm gonna say I don't care if anybody's listening at this fucking
They're gonna
point.
steal
If
it.
they listen, they listen. So it's nanites that like it goes into your stream, and then it goes like you have to leave it in your body for maybe like a week or two. Who knows, right? And then you go back for a checkup, and they extract all the nanites, and it actually gives you a full diagnostic of your body. on what to check out, what's upcoming. Like there might be there's some issues over here in your body that you might want to go check out and whatnot, and it gives you like an accurate read, and then I guess you just pee the rest out.
Yeah, but they do have things like one thing I'm trying to get. I probably won't get it for the end of the year because the process is a long time, but I'm gonna get this continuous blood glucose monitor, where it's like you wear it. I've
seen someone was wearing one was for a heart. Like this dude was looking like the $6 million man. It was one of my clients. He had one thing on his shoulder, right? It was like a device, and he had one piece by his heart, and it was like a constant monitoring system.
Yeah. So the one on your arm is the one that I'm trying to get, but it's a little bit of a process too. But it's a continuous blood sugar one, so I'll know like whatever I'm doing, whatever my daily routine is, I'll know what's causing it to spike. You know?
Well, it'll tell you the time.
It's in like real time.
So it's like if I eat like a hamburger, super greasy, and then it'll just like as the day goes by,
blood sugar, it just will let you know, so you'll know because you want to live like how you normally live. Right. And then you'll see like because they say like the more I research with this stuff too, it's like many different things can cause it. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's when I have sweets at night, that's what raises it super, super high. Or is it
early in the morning?
Is it in the morning? Is it when I don't eat for a while, then I eat? Like, it's, you just never know. Like, there's so many different patterns to it. But, because, reality, like, you remember the thing I had, a little pricker thing, like that you just take, and it tells you what it is right now. But what are you going to prick yourself all day?
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that. I mean, granted, they made it less painful than it was before, but still at the end of the day, it is kind of like, it's cumbersome. It's like, I got to do this again. But if there's a device that just is always on you, then you're less likely to be thinking about like, oh man, let me go check this. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're like, you should change your diet relatively quicker than always like you're not gonna eat a meal and then hours later like, hold on, let me check to see if everything's good.
Yeah,
and I don't see that happening. And
those things too, just to be totally real too, they're mad annoying because a lot of times they don't work. They're very sensitive. Like that's why I don't use them as much. I'll try to use them, and then you go and you scan the blood and you test it, and then it's like error. And you can't use the same fucking needle that you just did. So then you got to change the needle, and you got to do it. And then you just
like a process that a lot of people go through. That I think this is a better alternative, to be honest.
Yeah. So you need to sponsor us. All right.
We just gave them the best commercial.
We did. Very real, very organic. And shout out to the dentist too, because they're super amazing over there. They are one of my clients. Shout out to Jersey Media. So they are Tenafly and Oradell Dental Associates. Really, really good people too. Like, and we talk, and they like part of the fam now too. Like, part of the Jersey Media crew, community, family, and they're like, nah, like on some real shit. Like you need everyone needs a cleaning like every 3 months. And it's crazy because, I went and I got the deep ass cleaning like a month ago, maybe a little bit more. And he was like, I asked him, I was like, how's the other side? How did it recover? How did it heal? You know what I mean? Like, because I was able to feel it tremendously. I was able to floss better.
When the front, or are you talking about
the side? Because they did this side about a month and a half ago.
Right.
And also keep in mind, this whole procedure is a $4,000 procedure.
Right.
So that's why another thing, barely people even get it. But
and you said for the procedure that you got.
No, you don't need that. You just need that like when you weren't shit for years.
When you weren't on top of your shit for all those years, and you just had to. I got you.
That's the reason why I had to do it.
Right.
But because I didn't go for the cleanings and shit. You know what I mean? Because they're like, no matter how much you do it yourself, you're not going to hit it the way the machines do.
Right.
Because I'd be bugging because I'm like, especially as a grown fucking man, like I fucking clean, like I brush my fucking teeth. I floss. I do all that type of shit. So it's like, but they're like, no, you need the real
deep cleaning.
The real deal. So it's important. I figured I'd share it to y'all, for anyone that's listening out there and stuff like that. And it's hard, especially when you don't have insurance and this and that. And just because you're doing what you got to do, morning, night, this, that, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? You need that official shit. So hit up Tenafly and Oradell Dental Associates. Shout out to Dr. G. Yes. And they were on the podcast. All right, I almost forgot. They were on the pod. All right, we did it right there in the office. We got to do part 2 coming up soon. We got to get Zain on there.
Word.
Give him all these ideas.
Yeah, it's let me tell you something. I got so many ideas that AI can't even keep up, to be honest.
I see you've been doing your thing still on YouTube, doing your videos.
Oh, absolutely. I got it. I'm almost to the end of the season. That so like up to 52, and then I'm changing it up again. It's gonna be the same thing, like film content and like photography related stuff, but I'm gonna deep dive more into like the photography, but also more in the creative direction. Like just coming up with like just cool ideas that you can do and whatnot. But the thing about it, when you're creating a channel, like I'm focused more on the philosophy opposed to just creating cool stuff. And I feel like that just makes more sense to me, because you have to think more so longevity, because there's not much to really say when you're constantly talking about like filmmaking. Like once you get the basics, that's the fundamentals, kind of like that's it. It's really the problem solving that happens. That's what really makes a filmmaker. It's like, damn, we're in this tight location. How can we make this shit work? That's what, you can't really teach that, because it's really like case by case. So by teaching philosophy, at least you could take that with you and apply it. So that's what I'm going to be expanding a little more on in terms of being creative with you, your client, and just whatever brand that you decide to like work with, like really deep dive into that. Yeah.
Nah, I'm proud of you, man. You were super consistent with it too.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I pay attention, and it's probably one of the things you've been the most consistent with, obviously, besides the magazine. You know what I'm saying? The magazine's different.
Right.
It's just legendary, and you're dropping that for so long.
Right.
But this was super consistent. And this was different for you because you were dropping what, every week?
Every week. I'm recording every week, and I do like 2-3 episodes a day, and then I just schedule it out. And that, honestly, the first maybe 4 or 5 episodes was tough, because I was still trying to figure out how I was going to edit it. And then I said, let me just condense this to like 3 to 4 minutes. So that way I could like have some time to breathe and like put some B-roll on it, because I was thinking I don't have that much time as I used to, because I'm like working like a 9 to 3 job. So then now I have to like really think about whatever time after that I'm working with clients or editing. So if I'm doing these long pieces for myself, it's going to be a little taxing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, you got to work with what you got and then work what makes sense to you. But it's like I could pump that out because I needed to, and then just working with other filmmakers, because I want to like go to other people's podcasts and like talk my shit with them.
Hell yeah.
And then just like kind of just pick brains and whatnot, because as much as like it's great to do your own content, I do want to collaborate with other people. So after like I hit like episode 52 and whatnot, and I'm gonna still push on to do more, I'm gonna definitely reach out and get some people and like bring them on, like, hey, we're with such and such, let's talk about blank.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going for.
No, super smooth. I like it, man. I love when I see them pop up on the YouTube. I'm like, let's go. But then they be short, and I'm like,
yeah. That little popcorn content for these popcorn generations.
Like, all right. But all right, so what I kind of want to talk about, you probably have stuff on your mind as well that you want to talk about. But
I'll say this: shout out to Men's Health. This is mental health awareness.
That's literally what I wanted to get into.
Yeah, because people, they overlook it, just like kind of like Father's Day too. Like, we don't get enough shine, to be honest. So I was like, this is Men's Mental Health Month, and I feel like people need to know a little more about it. So I feel like, yeah, we could definitely touch upon that, because shit be stressing me out.
Yeah, like that's literally what I want to get into. This episode is probably dropping in July, so we just closed out the month. But it definitely, like, you hear it every month, and this month it definitely like struck a chord with me that it's in the same month as Father's Day. It was just interesting how that works.
Yeah, they said put it all together. Put it in a bundle.
Man, there's so many different aspects of it that we could really get into and we could really talk about, but I definitely think it's important that, we shed light on it. And, it's super, super important because, obviously mental health talks and just mental health in general, like things that we always talk about on here, is super important in all different, groups, whether it's women, children, whoever it is. But yo, man, we have so many different roles we have to play, and we have to, especially being like leaders, providers, being like the man, like, and it's crazy because it's like, yo, I would love for people to define like the role of a man.
It shit is skewed based on wherever you live in whatever like nation, whatever country you live in. It's so different across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Some might not have a need for mental health awareness because maybe they're not getting as stressed as over here. It's like there's a lot of like societal pressure on what a man is supposed to be from a lot of people. And I'm just gonna stop right there. But essentially, there's too many things like, oh, men need to do X, Y, Z, and they just add more letters that don't even exist anymore, and they just keep on taxing and just like, what else? Where's a safe space for men to express themselves without being judged? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we don't say a lot of things and we keep it internal until it destroys us from the inside and we implode. Some people explode and like, why are they just losing it? Because honestly, the pressure got to them. And then some people implode and they become super depressive and they don't share with anybody because what's society gonna do? They're gonna say rub some dirt on and be a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the kind of concept that you want to dive into, like, what does it mean? Like, what would be your safe space?
Javi, come in here. Hold on, before we answer this, come through, man. Come through. Say what up. All three cameras.
Yo, what up?
Yeah, here we go. We got Javi on the BTS. Get some dope content behind the scenes in the building. Straight off selling some sales and some credit repair. Just changed someone's whole life right now. PPG Capital, PPG Fitness in the building. Yes. So I think, man, like, I'm super, super blessed in the fact, and this is something that I've been really, thinking about lately, is the community. The community of people that I'm very big on, like, who we surround ourselves with, who's in a day-to-day, like who the people that we working with, good people, who the people we surrounded by, who the people we seeing. So I'm super, super blessed for that it's like, those are, safe spaces, like I feel like we've tried to create that within, like Therapy Without a Degree within our community here. Like I can come in here before a pod and talk my shit and we can kind of talk about it, or even on this pod, like me and Ryan have mentioned a lot of times, like, the topics that we'll talk about will be like some real shit. Maybe if we don't say it super directly,
right?
It's about something. Also too, man, I think music is so powerful as well too with that, What about yourself?
In terms of just like having your own safe space, and mine is honestly just like movies. I had like a moment yesterday and I said I just have to go to the movies. Like like Monday I had like a lot of workload, but luckily I was able to do most of that last week. So then by the time Monday came, the only thing I had to do was just like record my vlog, and then I was like, I had the rest of the day to myself. I was like, I don't have to do no work. Everything is caught up. And then granted, I still have personal projects to work on, but I was going to work on them like on my, like next week on my break. And I said to myself, why don't you just like go outside and watch a movie and get out the house? Because I could have just stayed in the house, play games all day and watch movies, but I just wanted to treat myself, go out, watch a movie, and that was it. I ended up watching the movie If, the one with Ryan Reynolds and like the imaginary friends and whatnot. That movie was actually better than I thought it was going to be. Wow. I didn't think it was going to like suck or anything, but like the message behind it was pretty solid. I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, but it's definitely worthwhile to check that movie out. But it just made me realize that the inner child doesn't necessarily have to fade out. You can find balance between the two. You don't have to suppress that joy within yourself for the sake of being a man. Like, that's not what being a man is. It's just like being no fun, or you need to sacrifice XYZ in order for what? What about you? You got to sleep with yourself at the end of the day. Yeah, you might have somebody next to you, but you're always going to be with yourself, especially in here. So you have to, how's it look up there? Is it empty, or do you have nice things going on there? Do you take yourself out? Like, you have to really understand that in order to be kind and nice, you have to do that to yourself. And we find ourselves, when we get something wrong, we start yelling at our inner child, like, what are you doing? Get it right. And then it's like, I'm trying. You know what I'm saying? Is that how you want to talk to, like, your own child? And you got to really think about that. It really makes you take a step back. Like, how are you talking to your inner child? Are you yelling at them, or are you having a gentle voice like, hey, it's okay, we'll try again another day? And the movie Inside Out 2, another Oscar. Absolutely another Oscar. I saw that too. That movie was incredible because it made you really think about, like, our anxiety, especially within men. We're so up far ahead. We're just thinking ahead, like, I gotta do X, Y, Z, and blah blah. And we're doing all these things for unconditional love. Well, conditional love, actually. Yeah, conditional love. And it's like you bring people in your life that you need to do something in order to get something back. That's how we were, like, programmed to do. In order for me to have this friendship or this relationship, I need to do X, Y, Z in order to maintain it. And if I do not, if it's lacking, obviously, then it's going to fade out. But we don't align ourselves with people who give us unconditional love.
It's really hard to come by.
It's hard to come by. You got to honestly put in the work, but it's just, at the end of the day, we settle for the conditional, and then we suffer internal because we have no one to express to. Because expression is a sign of weakness. Like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you need to rub some dirt on it and keep pushing on, keep pressing forward. But there's no one there to, like, that you can talk to that's saying, hey, no, that's perfectly fine for you to take a break. It's perfectly fine for you to relax and give yourself some time to collect yourself. You don't always have to be on go, 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 go. Like, that's the anxiety talking, and it breaks people, like, apart. And they're like, I don't know why I'm, and then all of a sudden it translates into aggression. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just gotta get it done, because if I don't, what happens? Like, there's a lot of pressure, and there's not a lot of support in, like, that community, because it's like, oh man, you just gotta, I don't know, that's crazy. You get those responses.
But I think, again, that goes real back. It's real big with your environment,
right?
Because, like, again, because I've really made I put a lot of effort in making sure that the environments I'm in are not like that at all. Like I said, the environments with here, Therapy Without a Degree, with Jersey Media, the friends, even online, like what I follow online, the people that I connect with online, So I think that's what people really need to do, is focus on the environments that they're in, and keep paying attention to them, keep reworking them, try to meet new people. Like, there's places you can go, different, like, gyms. You could, that's always a great place to find people, going to different activities, trying out different things. I think that's a major, major play, because you have to feel, comfortable, like, for you, like, to express yourself. Because obviously it's not a sign of weakness. You have to be able to express yourself, and that's kind of something I did want to, like, get into as well, is, like, for all the men out there that is going through these things with, like, mental health and all that. Yeah, like you said, you have to express yourself. Even if you don't express yourself to anybody, it's okay to feel, it's okay to have those moments where you're not okay. Like, that's okay. It's normal. However, though, I do always say, keep it moving. Don't wallow in that. Don't, like, try not to have a whole day of just like, I'm in bed the whole day. If you really need the whole day, you have the whole day. But try to limit that. Try to move forward. Feel it, because a lot of people will suppress it. You don't want to ever do that. You would never want to suppress it. You either want to talk, to somebody, right? And if you don't have somebody to talk to, there are ways. There's a lot of access now to a lot of things, online, not online. If you need those resources, if you need to try to find different avenues, reach out to us. We'll put you in communities that we have, or ones that we would recommend for you that would fit with you. Because it's hard trying to find, good people. Or if you just want to deal with it yourself, deal with it yourself. Cry it out. But then get right back to it. Don't let that shit bring you down. Feel what you have to feel, but then try to get right back to it. And everybody might take longer, like you were saying, everybody, it might take them longer to feel or go through what they have to go through. But I'm just going to say, yo, you got to always keep it pushing, So it's a balance of don't suppress it, but keep it moving, And sometimes you don't always have to express it to other people. You can express it to yourself. For example, for me, I ain't gonna lie, this weekend was really weird for me too. Father's Day is tough for a lot of different reasons, especially because without going too much into detail, I was local, and it's fine. I'm going over there in a few days, but it was just with the whole transition, the last couple of months, it was just damn, so
right.
And I'm, at least me, I'm a very emotional person, and I think a lot of people out there you have to listen to yourself, and you have to it's okay, if you're an emotional fucking man, it's okay, it happens, you know what I'm saying? You have to feel it, So I do get I have those moments, where I fucking just cry. I played a song. I found this song on Sunday. It reminded me so much of Jaylene. I was fucking in the car crying, bawling my eyes out. But guess what? I kept it moving. And then I went and finished doing what I was doing. So you feel, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Or even the whole weekend, I was still out and about, I was still doing things. I didn't let it, mess me up to where I'm in bed all weekend, or I'm not doing stuff, or I'm not being productive. I got a whole business to run. You know what I'm saying? I have older things I got to deal with. I got to still make sure Jay's okay. I got to make sure this person's okay. I still got to keep it moving. So you can't wallow in your,
despair. Whatever you're going through at the point. But it depends on, honestly, we just need to condition ourselves to know what it is, to identify it. Because sometimes we just overlook it. It's no, that's trauma. You should probably work on that, or that's PTSD of past relationships that you're currently bleeding into your other relationships because you didn't really sit down and go to therapy and take care of that. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be a lot more men going to therapy instead of just talking with your boys, giving you just advice that's just not helpful. Just very watered down, generic Hallmark version. Just yeah, man, you just gotta do this, or oh, that's crazy, or man, don't even think about that, man. And it's no, you need to go to therapist because it might be things that you're doing that you're not aware of, that you're constantly looping into other relationships, just trickling down. Always the same thing. Why do I always end up with the same woman? Why I always end up with the same dude, or whatever the case may be? You have to really understand and identify why. And if you constantly feel like you're in a loop, sit down and think about it. Why do you believe? But you have to be honest. If you're not honest with yourself, ain't nobody, no one's going to be able to help you. And then that's the first step. You I have a problem. If you don't acknowledge what you have or you want to work on, then it's not going to be helpful for you. At the end of the day, at least be honest with yourself. No, I can't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, you have to be able to.
Yeah, you can't let ego take control of the wheel, just because you feel pressured on how society might view you. You always see those videos where it'll be the guy's he get his, he's with his girl, and then he has to, all of a sudden all her friends expect him to pay for everything, and it's for, you know what I'm saying? It's like, when did that conversation even happen? Why are you pressuring this someone on the spot? That's, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like that's the type of situation that we overlook, and we're just like, oh no, and he's a man, he should be able to. We don't know what kind of shit that he's going for. Maybe he's saving all his money for his lady, or maybe he's working on that business, or whatever the case may be. But you know what they do? I'm going to go into debt. I'm going to owe some money, and I'm just going to pay for it.
Yeah.
We're just going to pay for it. No problem. And just keep it moving and suppress it. We'll call it a day. We got to do better. We have to create more safe spaces for men to be able to say that. And I feel like podcasts let people to let the clip out. Like, you notice that a lot of people just kind of just letting it out. And it's not that it's like you could say whatever you want, but I feel like there's not a lot of men talking. If you're not a celebrity or you're not a talk show host and whatnot, you're seeing more people getting interviewed, and you see them like, you know what? They got something off their chest. You know what I'm saying? They were heard. And I feel like that's if you're going to take any good thing from podcasting and whatnot, is to be heard is a very big deal. You know, that's all you need. Like, someone's like, I heard you, man. I hear what you're saying. Let's figure out how we could, like, navigate through this.
Yeah. Sorry, fucking tooth is killing me. It's fucking tooth. But you know, too, because a lot of people don't have, you know, many people to speak with on a daily basis. Many people don't have that community. Many people don't have, you know, the people that they feel comfortable with, you know, even being, you know, very real, very vulnerable. People are lucky they have like 1, 2 friends that they're even that close with. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they even do have 2 or 3 people, but they still are like, no, I'll kick it with them, but I'm not going to really, really talk and tell them how I feel.
Right.
It's very, very rare. And especially with a lot of men. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why, like you said, there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's, you know, it's out there. So now it's like, that's up to you. You know, if you want to go, you know, try to get the help, or that's up to you. You know, like there's, like you said, there's therapy, there's online therapy, there's, you know, communities with, you know, positive role models and people doing their thing in every single industry and every single, like there's literally Facebook groups for like dads. There's everything. You know what I'm saying? There's like, I found one Facebook group, it was like girl dads. I found there's like, there's so many different things. You know what I'm saying? That if you
it's
want,
helpful because there's a collective of people talking about like, hey, that, like, say if you ask a question, am I being too hard if I do X? And it's like, yeah, maybe you should do X, Y, Z to kind of, you know, rectify the situation. Don't be too, because maybe that shared experience kind of helps others fathers raise their kids because they might not have, they don't have anything to pull reference from in their past, because maybe how they were brought up wasn't the best. So outsourcing to a better environment that's like, hey, you should probably do this with your daughter, and like take them out to a concert or blah blah, and then ask them these questions so it seems like you're more engaged. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, kids, no matter whether you have boy or girl, they're gonna grow up remembering how you were and how you made them feel. You know, at the end of the day, it's not about what you did for them. It's not about what you said. It's about how you made them feel at the end of the day.
Maya Angelou right there.
That's the woman right there. Yep. That I read so much of her poetry, and it just makes you think like you can be human too.
And to your point too, you know what's crazy though? Because one thing we've said a few times on this pod is like, okay, you know what? Maybe your parents didn't do the best or whatever, so you don't want to look to them. Or, yo, on the real too, like, even if you were raised good, that was such long time ago, and things are so different. Like, back to, like, we were just watching, like, Connie and Tyra's podcast. We were here. You know, like, the evolution of how they had to grow up to it, like, technology and how we, like, bro, like, even if, you know, you were raised, you know, A-okay, that's going to be different from now. Now is way different. So sometimes even just dealing with people that understand like today's, you know, society
Right.
You know, like you may look at, okay, my mom did this, my dad did this, but again, they were raised in a very different time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't, like if I'm having issues with, you know, this person being on TikTok or this one or vaping.
Right.
Yeah, there's probably similar things, but it's very different still.
Right.
You know? So what's dope about finding communities that are like-minded, you could literally talk to someone. Like if I go in a Facebook group and I'm going on like a girl dad one right now in 2024, I guarantee I could find someone that has dealt with like the same situation.
Right.
The same thing. Not like, okay, yeah, you know, you could always talk to your mom, you could talk to your aunts, you could talk to people like that. Someone older, like, oh, how did you do it? But it's different times. You know, it's very different times.
Right. That's why you got to stay updated, because the stuff that you did back then is not the type of shit that is going to go now. The kids aren't not the same way as they used to be, where you went to school and then you were afraid that, oh, if the teacher calls home, it's a wrap. These kids don't give a damn no more. You call home, the parents gonna cuss you out for like calling them about their kid. Like, oh, that's your job. You take care of it. You're like, what the hell? I can't discipline your kid. That's not what we're here for. We're here to teach your kid, not to discipline your kid. You know what I'm saying? And then we send them back home, and then they do the same BS in school, and it's just like, fam, like it's just getting chaotic. It's not the same as it once was. I used to be afraid of my mom getting called. Now these kids don't have that same fear.
Nah, they don't care.
No, they're like, oh, I'm gonna take out my phone, I'm gonna sue you, and blah blah. Kids ain't doing their homework, they're doing nothing. I'm like, you know what, man? Like, that's why it's good to outsource and figure out, like, how did you navigate with this? Oh, well, what I did is I turned off the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you did X, Y. You know, everyone.
You know what I'm saying? You got to find something. It's like, oh, that's a good idea, because some people, they don't know, like, who else you're gonna talk to. Maybe you don't have no friends that have, like, have kids or anything like that. You got to outsource and figure out whether you want to Google it. Maybe you want to, like, talk to somebody. A lot of people, they're too prideful. I'm like, no, I'm gonna raise a kid how I best know how, and using my past experience. Nah, man. Nowadays you gotta research. You gotta research. You gotta update every year to see what you can do to better help your child navigate through the world, as well as discipline them at the same time.
Even other things, like, I don't know if I've said, I know I've had the conversation before, I don't know if I ever said it on the pod, but like most people, and I think we all in this house could like correlate it to, and we could really think, most people, they end up just becoming friends with people by convenience. Most of the time, like if you look like, let's say like a middle school, right? And you see a lot of parents that pick up their kids. Yo, most of those people, their friends is usually a coworker, maybe someone that sits in front of them at the school line to pick up their kids. It's always by convenience, usually. The average person has their friends. It's like, oh, this person lived next to me. Yeah, that's great, and you may be able to have bonds and shit with those people, but like sometimes if you're not intentional about the people around you, it is going to be really hard to get some good, quote unquote, advice, some good ideology or vision of structure. Like literally, people will just be friends. They become really close friends with their neighbor.
Right.
Or they get really close with because their kids' school day lines up with their kid, and then they're after school. Because again, it's convenience. Oh, your kid does soccer and my kid does soccer. And they're like, and people just become friendly. That's one, but then that's all they have.
Right.
And I've witnessed it a lot. Like if you really just look and you just like, I'm big on like people watching. You just watch and you just see and you're like, oh, you guys are friends because of this. You know what I'm saying? And people just, they continue, and that's great. But then they're going to them for the relationship advice. And they're going to them for the maybe mental health advice or for the kid advice.
They're conveniently there based on like just the timing and the circumstances. Like, who else am I to talk to while I'm waiting for my kid? Most people, granted, if you're not staying in your car waiting for them to come to you. Yeah. But
I'm just using examples, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like a soccer game. Oh, is that your kid? And then you're having a conversation. It's just like, how do you manage 3 kids and a job? It's like, oh, and then they share information, but is it the best information? Who knows?
Yeah. That's why you got to be intentional. Like, if, okay, it could be based on convenience, but like, yo, nah, like, you know, and again, it's very hard to know what's going on from the looks of the outside, but, you know, it's worth a shot. You know what I'm saying? It's worth a shot. Like, yo, you see someone, like, you know, you see someone in the gym, yo, you got to find one of the dudes that, like, yo, one of the best looking dudes in there. Pause.
Right.
Or the best looking girls.
What are they doing to get
Yeah,
to
what
that?
are they doing? Or like, you know, they're trying to better themselves. Any place that they're trying to better themselves, yo, try to tap in with those people. You know what I'm saying? If you see them, like, again, you see a couple that's, you know, you always see them like maybe on Facebook, Instagram, look like they're having a good live, good this, good that. You may not know them at all, but maybe reach out. Yo, I got some like relationship advice. I just want to ask you. You seem like you're a good husband. You seem like you got a good wife. You know what I mean? Again, perception is everything. It could be completely wrong. You know, what's behind closed doors could be completely different. But it's like, it's out there. So I don't want to hear the excuses of, you know, oh, I don't know nobody. I only
That's
know, I
the
only know my
typical
neighbor.
response. Yeah, it's like you don't have an internet, you have social media, so you're not researching or you're not following like maybe like an account that could give tips on raising your kid and whatnot. Nothing. Okay, cool. So that just lack of just engagement towards your parenting skills, because you have to update that shit. People just like iOS updates and shit. Like, y'all make sure your phones are updated, but you got to make sure your parenting is updated.
Yeah.
That shit is not the 1990s anymore. You have to update.
Or your friend, you being,
Or your
you
friends
being
too.
Like, no, like you being a friend, you being a son, you being a father, like
Right.
you being, you know, in a relationship, a husband, you know, all these different things.
Yeah, what worked then is not going to be the same thing now. You got to be like, friends are going through maybe financial struggles, or maybe they're going through emotional struggles. How can you better help them? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'll send them this, you know, this article, or maybe let me learn the information, and then I could regurgitate it to them in the way that they understand. I don't know.
I'm curious from everyone here. Ryan, what about you? Do you feel you see a lot of people that become friendly with other people based on convenience, or more intentional?
More attention?
Like more intentional?
Oh, intention.
Or do you see a lot of people around you and they're like person that they're close with? Do you think that was just based on convenience? What do you see more of?
Wow. I feel like that. I guess I see it at both, but I guess in my immediate people, I feel like it's definitely more intentional.
Is that now as you've gotten older, or was that all the time?
Well, I would say in high school you're kind of prone to it. Like, obviously you're just in school, but as I get older, it's more intentional. Because, like, I look at the people around me and I'm like, we're all from different areas, really.
Yeah, it's intentional. What about you guys, Javi? Have you ever thought about it? Like, do you feel like the people around, maybe not you, but like the other people, do you feel like the people that they're around is just based on convenience? Or are they being intentional about who they're around?
It depends on the person, but there are some people who are like that are just like, and then go with the flow, they're just there just to hang around them, you know? There are some people that intentionally, like, fuck with you, and they want to, like, be around your energy and be a part of what you're creating. But not everybody's like that. Some people are just there for the benefits. Yeah.
What about you, JoJo?
They call that strategic friendliness.
Do you see it? Because you see a lot of people too, especially at the pizzeria. You see a lot of people.
Yeah, but I don't know their relationship as much.
Yeah, yeah.
You mean like homeboy that stays?
They might only talk here and
Like,
as far as like honesty, like what's wrong, that's the mostly intention. Like, especially yeah, but I'm saying people
Yeah.
like homeboy that be at the pizzeria.
like all of them. No,
Right.
It's intentional that you keep them around and stuff. Yeah.
We all know everything about yourself. How you got us talking about before. I think it's all people stuff. Like we talk about
Real shit too. Yeah. Like. Yeah. There's always people out there, but I think it's just you. Believe it or not, I think a lot of us in this room, a lot of us are similar in that aspect. Like we have, communities of people. Don't take that for granted. Because there's a lot of people. That they don't be talking to nobody in a day. They're lucky if they talked to 2 people. And it's usually sometimes the same people.
Usually at
their
work.
wife and their like.
That's it. I've seen it.
It's a lot.
I used
of
to be
people.
one of those people. Honestly, I just
can't.
you just gotta. It's just sometimes they don't like if you don't have a hobby. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like if you like movies, right? Then you find other movie goers, and now you got yourself a community of movie goers, right? If you like basketball, you find. But if you don't got no hobbies, then where are you gonna link yourself and associate yourself with? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like maybe hobby is like part 1.
Oh, you said you used to be maybe like that?
Yeah, I used to be like that. I used to just go to work, and before the magazine, I would just go to work, and that was it. And I would only talk to coworkers, and then I'd go home, and I'd say nothing. Like, nothing was said at home.
Yeah.
That was it. And then I would go back to work, and that's it. And then when I had clients, when I started doing photography, I would just talk to clients, and then that was it. And then there was no talking. All I did was just watch movies, and that was it. There was no talking at home. There was like no linking up. And then I had certain friends that the moment they get into a relationship, like that's it, they're gone. No more. They only talk to their girlfriend, and then that's it. There's no really like hanging out, so that's gone. And then the moment they're single, they come back. But I usually snip those people out because at a mere convenience, they use you as a means to pass time. You know what I'm saying? Or to trauma dump of what their past relationship was, and until they find somebody new, and then you don't hear about them anymore. And you're just like, where the fuck did you go? It's like, and it's, oh yeah, it didn't work out, but yeah, we should hang. Nah. I like people who are consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People
who show up and are more engaged and like see what you're doing. Because I had people I thought were my best friends, they're not. Absolutely not. And it's sad because it's kind of like it's not like realizing like a partner like breaks up with you. It's more so like I feel like a friend that you break up with is more hurtful, especially when you have to like not to remove yourself, but when you have to distance yourself. And it's like I thought you were a friend, and then he's just like, damn, it's like it's not the same. You know, or they just like I was watching a video. Basically, if people when you join with friends and whatnot, they aren't like your same level, and then the only way it breaks up is if you start advancing and then they don't and they stay there, and then or you know whether they move up or you move up and then y'all break apart. But essentially, y'all stay like friends. Usually have like the same mental. So if you have like some space in between or it's been X amount of time, it's very fortunate that y'all could just reconnect and kind of go from there and expand. But then you'll have times where it's been some time and they think you're the same person, or they try to treat you like that same person that you once were. And it could just be like a year or maybe like a few months and you're just not that person anymore. But then you have people that try to bring you back. Like, yo, remember we used to do X, Y, and Z and blah, blah. And you're just like, yeah, but I'm not that person no more. Or I don't like to be addressed as such person anymore. And it's, oh, man, you changed, man. You're not the same no more. No. And then all of a sudden now there's another distance. And now, you know, they fade out.
But it's also okay to change.
It's okay.
You know?
It's perfectly fine. Like it's some people they stay with those, they keep those people around because they're like, damn, it's hard to make friends. So I'm just gonna keep them around, knowing that it's like it's not helping their mental. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just keeping. It's kind of like how people just stay in relationships and they just keep them there, only just because they don't want to feel alone. And then when you finally have that courage within yourself to be like, I'm okay, I can love myself, I don't need any validation, then you could be more selective on who's in your circle. And if they leave, they leave. You know what I'm saying? You're not trying to like bring them back. Like, oh no, man, no, I'm just tripping, man. Just come back. You know, I was just like, let's go out for drinks and whatnot. He's like, now you're gonna internally suffer just because you don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Which I get it. Like, no, not to say that nobody wants to be alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone. But it does feel nice when you have other people like-mindedly like this that you can enjoy things with, like going to the movies or like going to different experiences in the city and whatnot as a collective, because it kind of gives you that family feel without being blood. You know, like it's a very different vibe, and it's definitely underappreciated when you don't when you have it, and then when it's gone, you're like, damn, I didn't realize that I used to hang out with like 17 people minimum at one point, right? And then as I got older, and then people were doing the things, and the circle broke up and whatnot, and now he's like, damn, I can't even get 1 or 2 people coming out. And he's like, you miss that. And just like when you have family, and then all of a sudden family doesn't like link up together, have barbecues or do shit like that, you feel like a part of you is missing. And you're like, damn, what the fuck do I do now? I guess this is what life is. And you feel like you're just to yourself, and you just go into that loop where I'll just go to work, talk to the workers, and then that's it. And then that's the loop. But you can break out. I'm telling y'all, you can break out. You just have to find a hobby, and then go on like Eventbrite and find like a free event or a paid event to go to and enjoy yourself. Maybe you'll find somebody that likes your dance move or likes your painting,
Yeah.
or whatever style or whatever you're doing. Maybe they'll approach you, or you could approach them. But put yourself out there if you want to make some more friends.
Yeah. And also remember too, it's transitions. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to adapt, as well. And you got to be okay with it too. Even with those friendships and the family members or those other people you're close with. Like, there's always times, like I was saying recently, like, there was one friend who for a while they were going through XYZ. So it's like, all right, maybe we didn't really kick it as much then. Now we are. But then also you have other friends where it's like, nah. Like I got one friend, they're pregnant right now, about to have a kid. I'm like, yep, let's just kick it a lot now, because soon I know I got about 4 years. Probably ain't going to see you too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or like you got to, like, there's always transitions.
Right.
Or like one person's really, really busy with their new job or this, that. Being able to adapt, and I think that goes back to the whole just mental health conversation as we wrap it up, is just being able to adapt through your emotions, through the positive ones, through the negative ones, through all of them. You got to be able to adapt, and it's hard. So you got to really be very like emotionally intelligent. You got to be in tune with them. You can't just put them on the back burner. You got to be very real with yourself, and all that is a lot harder. It's not, it's easier said than done, but that's why, again, we said you got to find these environments to be able to do that. And just the very last point I did want to make with, Men's Mental Health Month in general, when you're going through something and you're upset about whatever the adversity is, and you're like questioning it, and you're upset and this and that, ask yourself if you're being selfish. Seriously, ask yourself if you are being selfish. Because most of the time, especially if you're a firm believer that all happens for a reason, right? Which if you've gotten to a point where you're old enough now, you could really start looking back and hopefully make sense of a lot of different things. And sometimes even the most traumatic things, they're going to be really hard to make sense of. But if you really, really open your mind, open your heart, you might be able to. But ask yourself if you're being selfish. Because sometimes we're just always thinking about how we feel. While how we feel is valid. You know what I'm saying? With men, women, it's valid. But sometimes it's like, are you being selfish? Are you just only thinking about how you feel? Well, this happened to me. My life is like that. But maybe it needed to happen for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know. So it's one thing to really, really, really think about and just to pay attention to. But interesting, good topic. Obviously something that has to be way more fleshed out, and not just being very broad, because there's many, many areas to men's mental health. But I'm glad that it's being talked about more. Like, I'm glad, like you said, people are expressing themselves more on podcasts and being able to vocalize what they feel, so they see that they're not alone. So this is just a conversation that definitely needs to keep happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also helps people to see you for who you are. And then also people can use the stories that you've had to see, like, oh, you once were like this and now you're like this. Like they see like there's a sense of hope, because especially if you see like an artist or a celebrity and they're saying like, oh no, I was struggling, I was doing this, I was doing that, I wasn't living the best. And you're like, to see, sometimes we see celebrities as gods, so to see them actually bleed like how we bleed, you're like, oh wow. Like, because if you're in their position, we think that, oh yeah, we're gonna be bulletproof. No, you're not. You're still human just like everybody else, and you're going to go through it like everybody else. Mm-hmm. It's just that they have a publicist and they can hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the difference between the two. So it's always good to see like people who are celebrities being vulnerable, and then people who are not celebrities being vulnerable to express themselves publicly.
Yep.
That's my note. But my shout out is going to be... It's gonna be Inside Out 2. That's my shout out, because they really focused on, like, they had like doctors really like break down like the script and like help them out, and anxiety was perfectly visualized as well as portrayed in this movie. Yeah, okay. So definitely check it out. Inside Out 2. It's out in theaters.
Gotta check it out. I gotta check it out. We gotta see Bad Boys. I don't know if you're down to go again, so I haven't asked you.
I'd see that movie 5 more times.
Yeah, all right. Because I've been wanting to ask you, but I'm like, he went already.
No, we could see it on Monday.
Georgia, that camera went out again?
No, that's still on, right?
GH5 is good? It's good? Oh, I thought it's about to die. All right, we're wrapping up anyway. But yeah, I was like, this was good. Gotta go see Bad Boys 4.
We can see it Monday.
All right.
Yeah, like right after what we had to do.
Yeah, there's always something. We got to figure out what we got to do when we got to do.
Right.
But, yeah, my shout out is going to be, shout out to DR.
I was
going
to
to
ask
back.
You. That's the Patreon?
No, none of it. I can't say any of it. Cannot say any of it.
It looked dope, like in terms of like the environment. I saw you all podcasting out there, so that would be some dope exclusive content.
Oh no, it's exclusive already. If you watch all the way to the end,
it's
very exclusive.
No,
just watch all the way to the end. We had some unexpected,
see my point?
Unexpected guests. We weren't expecting them,
but they showed out.
Oh, they showed out all right. I almost didn't come back. You know what I'm saying?
He was like, wait, Joe, Dominican Joe?
Oh, no, I'm 100%. I'm Italian, but then I'm like, I feel like I'm Dominican and Mexican by association.
I see that.
Yeah, you sound like me. You've been hanging out with me too.
Yeah. Nah, but this is for a while, Ryan, too. Oh, man, 100%. Let's fucking go. What do you know? But Ryan is what? You're Cuban by association, right? And what else?
There's a lot. I don't know if I should say.
Yeah,
God.
But yeah, everyone, this has been fun. Tap in with us. We'll have some other fire episodes coming out soon. And happy 4th of July. It's probably coming out around a little after that. This is probably like mid-July, honestly. Got a few episodes in the tuck.
Right.
But yeah. Also, check out Bleachers Toy Machine. Fucking awesome, amazing album by Toy Machine. Make sure you check that shit out. Yo, you gonna give me a speeding ticket listening to that shit? Nah, I gotta stop. I gotta chill. I was with Roy the other day driving. He was afraid. He was like, "Yo, you turn this off because you're gonna get us pulled over." I was jamming.
Where can you listen then?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. All the platforms.
You could even hit me up. I'll send you the master track.
Yeah.
I'll hit you up.
Oh my god!
I need some new stuff to
bro,
listen
bro, it's a fucking masterpiece, bro.
to. Maybe we can use it for an episode.
No, we can.
Oh,
I've already scored your fucking album. I already have 3 songs.
Very scoreable.
No, I already have 3 records that I'm using, like 2 to 3. I already figured it. I was like, yo, there's got to be one episode where it's just Toy Machine. Like it's just like that's it. It's you know, the conversation in my head happened already. You just don't know it.
No, I mean, it's already here too.
That's how far. Like there's this one scene and the beat goes perfectly. It's like when they're camera died, whatever. Fuck it. Talking to one of them. There's one scene where I'm like, this guy's supposed to get beaten up.
Right.
And you guys do it perfectly because there's like a beat that's like, okay, that's when the person get hit.
Is that for fight?
Yeah. In the beginning in there.
For the song Fight?
Nah, I think it was a different one.
I mean,
There's
maybe there's so many.
there's one of them that like, it's every like, maybe like every 6 bars that there is just like it's like a perfect, it would, in a film, it would look so good after the boom. That's been my week. So it's scoring the film in my head. Toy Machine. Bleachers out now. Check it out. We out of here. Peace. The
Peace.
fucking mouth is coming back. Pause.